All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of what is now called Brew Talk with Mr. Beer. My name is Robert Lewis. I will be your host for today's show. We are filming live on Facebook from our office here in Tucson, Arizona, so we appreciate all those that are tuning in live now or will tune in later to watch. If you're not able to watch us live every week, you can find these episodes or these past episodes on our blog at mrbeer.com/blog. We're uploading them to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/mrbeer. And then they're also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/mrbeer. And we might be pushing them to other places in the near future just to kind of hint at what we're trying to do with this here. While we're on the topic of social media, if you would please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube page. We would greatly appreciate that, and it would help keep you up to date on all things that are Mr. Beer. Also, if you want to learn more just about Mr. Beer or just brewing in general, you should join our Mr. Beer Facebook group called the Mr. Beer Brewing Society. We need like a big echo when that comes in. Mr. Beer's Brewing Society. This can be found on our Facebook page. So you go to mrbeer.com or facebook.com/mrbeer. Go to our Facebook page. There's a groups button at the bottom where you can join, or if you just search in your search bar, Mr. Beer's Brewing Society. Apply to join. It is a closed group. We should actually answer a few questions. Once you answer those questions, we'll let you in and you can start learning all this stuff. If you are a first-time watcher of Brew Talk with Mr. Beer, welcome, and we appreciate you joining us today. Our show works this way. What we'll do is I will talk about a topic related to Mr. Beer or brewing with Mr. Beer somehow. Then I open up for a quick Q&A on Facebook. So for those of you who are watching live on Facebook, please post your questions. I will try and get to them. For those who are watching later, I will try and read the live questions out loud if I remember to, and then at least you know what we're answering, because my guess is if they're asking a question, you might have the same question too. But before we dive into today's topic, we can talk about what I'm drinking today. So today I have a beer that was actually brewed by Ashley. It's our Canadian Blonde Standard Refill, a little bit of a hop edition. It's some of the new experiments we're trying here in the office, always brewing new and different things, but it's pretty tasty. Definitely a good one. All right, so let's get into today's topic here. So I think this topic is, what is a Mr. Beer refill? It might be a little basic for some of our more advanced customers or people that have been brewing with Mr. Beer for a while, but we do get a lot of new brewers that join our site every day or that getting Mr. Beer kits every day. So I thought it was an important topic to discuss. And also, we're kind of the only home brewing company that has what I would call a refill. So like I said, a Mr. Beer refill, as we call them, is basically a can of our hop malt extract, and that is how you brew our beer. Like one of these guys here is one that we get. So this is the base ingredient for all of our products, and this is the very first thing you will brew when you get a Mr. Beer kit. So besides the kit, we also use all these refills are our base for all of our recipes that we make as well. So it's kind of the core of brewing with Mr. Beer is brewing with the Mr. Beer refill. All of our refills are designed and crafted by Cooper's Brewery in Australia, which is pretty unique. So Mr. Beer, those who don't know, is owned by Cooper's Brewery, which is based out of Australia, the largest family-owned brewery in Australia, which is really cool. So they create all of our ingredients there. So they're produced along the same lines that the beers that they're making, just a little different process in the end to actually get your hop malt extract here. So there are 16 different styles that we offer. We selected the most popular beer styles that we want to put out there in the market, so you have a wide variety of things to choose from. So we're going to go through those 16 styles just so you know what they are. In case you're missing one, you might be able to find it a little later. So some of those are Classic American Light, which will be similar to like a commercial light beer, like Bud Light, not favorite everybody, but it's a very popular style. Our American Lager, which is going to be close to like a Sam Adams Boston Lager. We have our American Ale. We have an American Porter, which is similar to Deschutes Black Butte Porter, which is very good. Our Canadian Blonde, which is what I am drinking here. Our Aztec Cerveza, which is like a Mexican-style lager, so that's great for summer months. Our Czech Pilsner, which we got here. This one's just a great traditional Pilsner, light in style, and a style that's really coming back around, especially on the craft beer side. So if you haven't brewed this one, I'd definitely check it out. We have our Bavarian Weiss beer, which is a wheat beer that we use. So if you like, the Shock Tops, the Blue Moons, you'll like that one. Oktoberfest Lager is Oktoberfest Lager, kind of what it says. It's a great tasting beer and probably one of our most popular styles. St. Patrick's Irish Stout is going to be along the lines of like a Guinness. The Diablo IPA is going to be a very red, hoppy beer and IPA. Our Long Play Session IPA is going to be a little less bitter, a little lighter in color. We have our Northwest Pale Ale, which used to be like a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which is one of my all-time favorite beers. We have our Nut Brown Ale, which is a brown ale. Then we brought back for last year our Winter Dark Ale, which is just a great, very roasty, just kind of dark ale. So as you can see, we offer a lot of different styles that cover basically all the basics that you could be looking to brew. So if you're just looking to dabble and you want to try a new style, we have all the varieties that you would need. So one thing to show us are our regular cans are these guys. These are 850 grams. These are 100% malted barley, except for the wheat can, which has obviously some wheat in it. Our craft cans, which would be the Diablo, the Bewitched, the Northwest, the Long Play, the Nut Brown, the Winter Dark Ale are a little bigger. So you can see the size difference. So what you'll get here is you just get a little higher ABV from just the refill, but these tend to be a little more hoppier as well. So if you're going for something that you want to be just a little more on the lighter side of the hoppiness, you're not a big hop fan, definitely stick with the standard cans. Depending on where you're ordering from, you might be able to get a booster, which these will all come with the standard cans. If you order any refill from Mr.Beer.com, you get the can and 2 boosters. If you're ordering them from other places, such as Amazon, you'll get the can. And then we also have our deluxe refills, which come with a pack of malt, which you can brew, these together. Adding the booster or the deluxe doesn't really change anything of the finished flavor that you're getting in the beer. It's just kind of a little bonus thing that you get from buying from Mr.Beer.com, which is kind of cool. But either way, you're still going to get a great tasting beer. So in each can is hop malt extract, which hop malt extract is kind of a whole topic within itself. I think we're going to do a later episode about that to explain exactly what hop malt extract is and how it's made. I think that would just be cool for a lot of our new and advanced brewers just to understand all the science and the process that goes behind that. So we're working on that one. And it basically looks like a maple syrup. So I have one here. It's not going to look that great on camera, but you can kind of see the consistency of there. It's just very thick syrup. I mean, very much like a maple syrup. So that's where all your hops, all your flavor comes, and everything that you get comes out of that can. All right, so I thought it would be cool to dive into a little history of the Mr. Beer refills. So, cruising online and looking in the Wayback Machine. We've always used a Mr. Beer refill in our kit, but they've always gone by different names. So I did some research this morning. So going back to 1999 to 2000, we had 10 different styles at that point of what we called Mr. Beer mixes. These were smaller cans. They were about 550 grams. So I managed to find this floating around the office here. That's kind of our old style. It's our West Coast Pale Ale. This beer mix in there, which is kind of cool that we keep holding on to these old things. Basically, those were just the smaller cans, so it was less malt, use more adjuncts, use a little bit more booster, and some of that stuff that you would normally don't use nowadays. Then going to 2013, we introduced all malt combos. Those were 2 of the smaller cans put together. So that was what we called our Brewmaster series then. So that'd be taking like 2 cans of the West Coast Pale Ale, or we had like a Linebacker Doppelbock. We did like a Bewitched Red Ale. So some of the names have kind of stayed the same over the years, why we've really tried to change them up. And then we stayed with that for a while as the Mr. Beer mixes as the base ingredient. So you either had the small can booster or a can of unhopped malt, kind of similar to what we do today, but then we really changed things around 2013. But before I get too far ahead, 2007, the term refills came about, so we moved away from using the term beer mixes to saying what a Mr. Beer refill was. Now with the launch of a new website, whole new labels, all that stuff, so we introduced Mr. Beer refills, and that's still the verbiage that we use today. So we've been using that for the last couple of years, or 13 years almost now. In 2013, Mr. Beer was produced by Cooper's Brewery, like I said earlier, and those are the refills that we use and that everybody knows and loves today. And had a huge improvement on flavor for us, which is nice. So they are the biggest supplier of malt extract in the world, so they know what they're doing when it comes to creating these hop malt extract varieties and using these different things. We really use their knowledge and their expertise to create a better flavor and a better beer for the consumer, which I think was something that was really cool. So we did the bigger cans, added more malt extract, get you a little higher ABV, a little more flavor, all that good stuff. So that about sums up my topic for Mr. Beer refills today. Let me see if we have any Q&As here on the Facebook Live. Looks like nothing at the moment. So if you have any questions when you watch this later, just comment on our video. We'll go ahead and answer those for you. We will be filming these every week on Wednesday at noon. So it's noon Pacific, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. And you can always live in, comment, do whatever you want to do on our Facebook page. Helps us out. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. We are taking requests for future episodes in there as we're trying to do these on a weekly basis. If you have a topic that you're curious about or something that you want to learn more about, please just hop in there and let us know. And we appreciate you taking the time to watch the video today. Cheers.